What up, brothers? Welcome back to Throwing Hands. Yeah, Jarrett and I are in the same clothes. Yes, we recorded 2 episodes in one day, but it's called efficiency. Who cares? But
We're a machine. We're a
we are
machine.
machines. But this is the year-end review award show. Jarrett and I, we don't have a Throwing Hands fight of the year or something like that. We each come up with our fight of the year, stuff like that. So on the docket, we have fight of the year, pay-per-view of the year, KO of the year, submission of the year, female fight of the year, male fight of the year, and fight of the year. I forgot to put on there fight night of the year. So Jarrett, if you think of something, I think we both know this. I think we'll probably both have the same thing if you're thinking what I'm thinking. But anyway, oh yeah, fight night of the year is there. It's the first thing on the list. There's two for me. There's two for me. And I'm having UFC Austin was chaos. From top to bottom, Emmett versus Cater. That was the main event. They're like, I think it tied the record for the most knockouts in a fight night. Insane. But UFC London, I think back in March, not the one in July. Tom Aspinall get better, but please get better. But that was one of the best fight night cards I have ever seen in my life. That was amazing. People were getting knocked out left and right. Ilya Topuria, he put on a clinic up at lightweight. Shows how scary that dude is. And we'll talk about stuff pertaining to him after. But overall, I think London was the best.
Okay, I was gonna go with I really like the one Thompson Holland. That's gonna be my personal favorite.
That was fun.
Yeah, I love that one. I got to watch all that with my girlfriend. That was a great night. Every single one of them. I know me and you were texting back and forth the whole night. Bangers all the way through. And then Thompson Holland, was a little nitpicky, but that was definitely a top 5 fight of the year for me. So I really enjoyed that fight night, and it was a lot of fun to cover.
That was a great fight. That was a great fight night. Alrighty. Pay-per-view of the year. MSG, I don't think there's much discussion. Blachowicz versus Ankalaev was great up until the last two fights, which that's why it was disappointing. But every fight was a finish up until then for 282. But 281, one of the fights of the year in Poirier, what's his name? Chandler, drama in the title fight with Adesanya and Pereira. Pereira, my bad.
Zhang showed up.
Zhang Weili did her thing, beast. But that's my pay-per-view of the year. What about you?
Same here. Same here. I love 281. I think 280, if there wasn't the stuff with TJ being hurt, not announcing it until a day before, if he would have shown up, and that would have been a really good fight. And then if O'Malley and Jan didn't have a little bit of controversy, I think 280 could have pushed it, but I think it's definitely between 275 and 281. But 281 was definitely my favorite. I really loved it.
Yeah, it was also 276 with Prohaska to share. That was a great card too. That was probably the best of the year up until that point. But I will say this, when it comes to cards, the lows were very low and the highs were very high. But yeah, overall, another great year for MMA. You can't complain. All right, we're going to switch up submission and KO of the year. Submission of the year, personally, I'm very biased. But Yuri Prohaska submitting Glover Teixeira after getting dominated on the ground the whole whenever they hit the ground. You know what? Let me take that back. Prohaska wasn't getting dominated, but he was getting pounded. Glover attempted a submission or two, but just the magnitude of that fight and the way it ended in the least expected possible way, I think that's what makes my submission of the year.
Yeah. That was Yuri versus Glover was my 2. I'm gonna have to go with Schnell versus Sumaraje.
Oh,
that comeback was lethal. Like that was beautiful. And then I had 2 that, like, I've been looking at some stuff like submissions for like Islam. Islam did finish in a submission over Charles. That was a huge submission. That was up there on my list. But you could say like he didn't really set that up off of like grappling. Yeah. It was set up off of the knockout, like, or the knockdown.
Yeah.
So that was, and then one that I wanted to bring up that was the one that as soon as you said submission of the year, I thought of was Delize versus Hermanson, but that wasn't a submission. It ended in a TKO. I forgot he kept punching him. I thought he finished him with the calf slicer, but that was sick. And then of course thinking that I had to watch that fight again, like, and I watched a breakdown of him, the calf slicer
Yeah,
breakdown. But Schnell versus Sumirage is my submission of the year.
I can't blame you there, but I think we could both agree comeback of the year was that fight.
Yeah.
Dude, that was I remember I came back from my cousin's wedding. It was like before the reception. I just remember being there at like my table going, "Oh my gosh, what's going on?" And then I like ran around the kitchen a bit after.
Yeah.
It yeah, that was insane. That was insane. Knockout of the year.
Cool.
There's no debate, in my opinion. It's Leon Edwards knocking out Kamaru Usman, 5th round, 54 seconds left in the fight. I've never, I remember I was talking to my friend Jordan, shout out Jordan, but he and I were sitting on my couch, and he's like, I was literally yelling at the TV, just throw something. And then the comment, Joe Rogan was like, seems like Leon Edwards is kind of resigning to a decision here. And DC said something, and Anik said this perfectly, but that is not the cloth from which he was born. And then bang, out cold. That's my KO of the year. I don't think there's any debate.
No, I think I'm like you said, you were biased towards Yuri. I'm a little biased on this one too, even though I agree with you. Leon was definitely KO of the year. I had time to think about. I had to think about it though, because I had to decide of that's like the sickest and the most like important knockout, and then it was like the highlight knockout of the year, and I think that was Chandler over Ferguson. That front kick was otherworldly.
Ugh.
Complete soccer kicked his head off his body, and I mean,
that was a punt.
It's tough to watch as a Tony fan, but like I really like Michael Chandler. I mean, he's an All-American from Mizzou. He's a wrestler, so I like him. But I agree with you.
Here's the thing. That's the first time I had ever been left speechless regarding a knockout. I just remember it was the last day I was at Seneca Hall, and it was the day before I left, and I was just sitting at my couch, and I just went,
yeah.
I was shocked.
It was like disgusting. I was like, oh my God, like that was brutal.
It was me. I think when it comes to vicious KOs, again, I am very biased. But Ilia Topuria knocking out Jai Herbert the way he did, just looked like he just went limp. I'd never seen anything like that. I was like, what the heck? And I looked at the TV with like a stank face, like, ugh, dang.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite KOs. But all right. What was the next one on the list? Okay. Female fighter of the year. I think it's Zhang Weili. I really do.
Look at us.
Look at us. I agree. And like there really isn't debate. Knocked out, sent her to the shadow realm. I love Joanna.
I knew you were gonna say that too. When I was writing it down on my notes, I was like, I guarantee he says send her to the shadow realm. I was like, I guarantee it.
Send her to the shadow realm. That was insane. That was no one had ever seen. And then Joanna retired. Shout Joanna. Still the best strawweight of all time. No debate. I don't care what you say. No debate. But then she reclaimed her title by TKO and Carlos. Was it what did she do to her?
She submitted her in a crucifix.
That's right. And
that was on 81 too. 81 was good.
81 was very, very good. That was so good. Oh yeah, it was a rear naked choke. Oh, I remember she put her in the crucifix, and then that was an insane. So I forgot about that. Now I remember it. That was insane.
Yeah.
Male fighter of the year, Volk. Volkanovski for me.
I like that one. This one was tough. It
is a tough one.
There's so many. I'm gonna have to go with. See, this is so close that I didn't even like have one written down beforehand because I knew I wasn't gonna make up my mind before the podcast. Personally, I'm gonna have to go Islam. I just think he's became a household name in MMA now. Like he's now to like casual fans know him. Like non-MMA fans know who he is because of what he did this year. And that title fight was ridiculous. Like that was perfect to a T what he needs to do. And I think I have him beaten Volk early next year. Like I think Islam's the future for a while in lightweight and the future face of the UFC. I think he set it up perfectly this year, and he's my fighter of the year.
Yeah, it was. No, I can't disagree with you there. And they will be fighting in Perth, Australia, in February. We'll talk about some fights we're looking forward to at the end of the episode. Some stuff like that. All right, fight of the year. In my opinion, there is no debate, none. Prohaska versus Teixeira, easily the best. That's the best light heavyweight fight of all time.
Yeah.
And here's why it's better than Gus versus Jones. If you tell me, oh, but Gus versus Jones, no, the swings in that fight, Yuri Prohaska almost taking him out on the feet, and then all of a sudden he's on the ground, and Teixeira's about to take him out down there. The round ends, and Prohaska was out of there in the 5th round, and then he somehow submits Glover Teixeira. Like, dude, that fight had so many swings, and I'm so disappointed the rematch didn't happen. But we all know who the real champion is in light heavyweight, and it's Yuri Prohaska.
Yeah. If I was making a fight of the year pick for throwing hands, like as a podcast, I would agree with you on that. But my personal fight of the year was Dustin Poirier versus Michael Chandler. I love that fight. I loved every second of that fight. It's something that I've looked forward to for years, to see those two fight, and it was everything that I wanted and then some. Like could not sit still for that entire fight on who was going to get the finish. I was going to be really upset if it went to the judges, but I love that fight, every second of it.
Yeah, that was a good fight. That was a really good fight. Poirier got it done. I was so happy.
Yeah,
I love Dustin. People are saying, oh, Poirier's a fake nice guy. I don't think he's a fake nice guy. I think he's a real nice guy that if you get under his nerves, he's not going to be happy with you. That's how I describe him. I think he's very nice. But Chandler, dude, those fish hooks were dirt. Those were gnarly. Ugh. But anyway, that'll do it for the awards portion of the year-end show. But I just thought of this. I think this would be fun. Who's going to be the champ in each division by the end of the year?
Oh,
this will be fun.
Yeah.
Flyweight, I think Figgy's going to stay the champ. Here's my thing, though. He's getting older and the weight's getting hard.
Mm-hmm.
So that I think if he beats Moreno, he fights once more that year. And I think he I do think he keeps his belt. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. That's gonna be another close fight between them coming up. But I'm gonna agree with you. I think Figgy gets the edge again and keeps it.
Ooh, all right, the 35ers. You know what? Call me crazy. I think it might be Cheeto. But here's the thing. Cheeto needs to keep sticking to 5-round fights, because 3-round fights, he doesn't get going until the 4th round. But his workload, he doesn't have much workload when he fights. Everything he throws is with a purpose. So if he has 5 rounds, he has more chance to knock a guy out, which is every fight. But like for him, that's important. Like he wouldn't have gotten Cruz out of there in 3 rounds, but he got him out in the 4th. So I think I hope it's Cheeto, and I think it will be Cheeto, but something a little more likely. I think if anything else other than that, Aljamain Sterling remains champion.
I think Henry Cejudo is going to come back.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Henry Cejudo is going to come back, and the Triple C is going to be on top again. I mean, obviously, I'm a huge Cejudo fan, but like I think that's going to happen, and I don't think anyone in that division's going to touch him until it's like a couple fights. However many times he fights next year, but if he comes back.
Here's my thing. I just wish. I wish the UFC would just let him fight for the 145 belt. Because I know that's what Cejudo wanted, but if he has to go back there and beat Aljamain Sterling, he can. There's no question. All right, featherweight. I don't think anybody's touching Volkanovski. No.
I agree.
Dude, he's so good. He is so good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lightweight's different. This is interesting because I mean the number one and number two pound for pound fighters are fighting for the lightweight championship in February, which is insane. I don't know if that's ever happened before, but dude, I think people are counting out Volkanovski way too much in this fight.
I agree. I think it's, even though I think Islam's gonna win, I don't think it's gonna be as bad as what people are saying.
Because
But
think of Michael Chandler made a point. He's like, Volkanovski was 210 pounds at that point. Your body just doesn't forget you were 210 pounds.
mhm,
And, Alex has probably dealt with stronger, bigger, when he was in rugby people. So I thought that being a former 210-pound man will probably work to his advantage, I think. But lightweight is so interesting because even if Beneil Dariush ended up on top next year, I wouldn't be surprised, bro. Beneil Dariush is the dark horse in that division. No one talks about him. I think his jiu-jitsu is insane. His boxing isn't great, but when he hits you say goodnight practically. But I don't know. I think it's gonna be Volk. I call me crazy. You
who
can
do
call
you
me
think
crazy all day, but I
gets
think Volk can't beat Makhachev. And if he wins, I think he keeps the belt through the end of the year. Because guess what? It's hard to
the
keep up two
yeah,
divisions.
yeah. Who do you think's gonna get the first title fight with Volk if he wins? Do you think Islam
Dude,
will get
I
an
don't know.
automatic rematch, or are they gonna give it to Charles, or are they gonna give it to Dustin, who won his last fight? Like,
Dude, I wouldn't put it past him to give it to Gaethje. I mean, not Gaethje. Beneil Dariush.
okay, yeah,
I guess Beneil's won like what 4 or 5 in a row,
yeah.
and he's really the only one that's been streaking. Gaethje lost to Charlie Hollis. Poirier lost to Charlie Hollis, but he recently beat Chandler. Um, Fazeev, if he gets a fight, I hope they put him. Okay, fights we're looking forward to. I want Gaethje to fight Fazeev.
Mm,
That is violent. That is fun. It's not hitting the ground. So yeah, the lightweight's kind of low key a mess right now.
yeah, but in a good way.
Yeah, in a good way.
Yeah, in a
Uh,
good way. Like, we're gonna watch it play out, but it is definitely a mess. Like anything can happen.
yeah, and I think you'll see. Look,
Sarukian is gonna start.
Sarukian, Gamrot,
Mhm.
uh, Moicano, maybe he's a little older, but he's been looking great. Ismagulov will probably find his way into the top 7, I think. Jalen Turner, geez, I forgot about him. Oh my, lightweight stacked, but I do think we'll see a couple people in the top 5 drop out, and the top 10 drop to the 10 lower than 10 because I think this is the year it starts happening to where the young guys are going to come in and they're going to start, sending these older guys home. But yeah, I think Volk can beat Makhachev. People are, oh, he's going to get dominant. Stop it, please. But let's head to welterweight. This is interesting because Usman and Edwards are probably going to fight in London. The hand injury, that hand injury rumor was a little weird, but Usman looked fine rolling at Killcliff. Look, no one wants to fight each other in the welterweight division.
Yeah,
That's the problem. No one in the top 5 wants to fight each other. Gilbert Burns is fighting Neil Magny. Good luck, Neil Magny. Gilbert Burns is really good. I don't have much faith in Magny to win that fight, sadly. But hopefully Colby and Hamzat fight. I don't. I this one's tough. Uh, I think Leon Edwards could remain champ, but if I had a bet in a rematch, I think Usman beats him.
that's who I got as champ through next year. I think Usman gets it back, and then I think it's gonna take a little while for another Leon Edwards miracle. It's gonna take
Yeah.
another knockout of the year to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Get back
Yeah.
from him. I think I'm gonna stick with Usman for sure, getting it back and keeping it.
Yeah. Shoot. But at the end of the year, let's say Colby beats first off, Hamzat shouldn't be that's weight bullying. I don't like him fighting at welterweight. I think it's crazy. But
Yeah.
I think I hate to say it, but let's say Colby and Hamzat fight in a 5-round fight, right?
Mhm.
If Colby can get past round 2, I think Colby wins that fight because Hamzat's cardio he got gassed against Gilbert Burns
Yeah.
toward the end of that fight. So let's say Colby beats Hamzat. There's no reason Colby doesn't get another title shot. And people disrespect Colby. I know he's a tough guy to like, but I think I think he's the best in the outside of Usman. I think he's the best in the division. And I thought he won. I thought he beat Usman in the last fight, but who am I to say? Middleweight. All right. Is he should get his rematch against Pereira, but the problem with Pereira is he cuts so much weight, he can't make it in like 2 months. It's absurd. I don't know. I don't know how he does it. Props to him for getting down there from like 230.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does that, but Sally, I think he beats Izzy again. That dude has his number, and psychologically, that's a tough thing to do. But I think Whitaker. I think Whitaker would beat him
Yeah.
handily.
Absolutely. I agree with you, but I think you make up a good point with not being able to make weight within a 2-month like stretch there. That means that if Whitaker gets a shot, it's most likely going to be beginning of next year by the time.
Or like November. Like if
Yeah.
Izzy and Pereira would have to fight in April or something.
Yeah. And that's probably not going to happen. That's probably not going to happen.
But look, anyone else, I'm looking at the division, right? Dude, anyone outside of Adesanya, and basically in the top 10, maybe even not Darren Till, sadly. I love Darren Till, but they would give Pereira problems everywhere. Yeah. Whitaker would wrestle him. Vittori would ground and pound him. I think Pereira would beat Cannonier, though. I think that'd be a fun fight, though. If they want to swang and bang, I'd love to see it. Strickland, that same thing would happen. I think Costa Pereira would be awesome. That would be so awesome. But yeah, I think Whitaker's the champ at the end of the year if things go the way we want it to go.
Yeah.
Light heavyweight. Ooh. This one's tough. Because if Jiri Prohaska is ready by the end of the year, I think he gets his belt back. Give him the belt, please. But the belt's vacant.
Yeah.
We have Hill versus Teixeira. Look, if Hill can find a way to keep this on the feet, Glover Teixeira might be going good night. Because that dude cracks, bro. But I don't think Yuri will be ready by the end of next year. Because Dana said it's a year. I think Magomed Ankalaev will be champ by the end of the year. I really do.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. I didn't think you were gonna say it, but yeah, I definitely agree. I think Ankalaev gets it. I don't know. I wasn't thinking about it until someone said it on one of the videos I was watching. If Glover wins, there is a chance that he's getting old enough that he may retire, and that would put lightweight in even more of a storm than what it is right now. But
that would be insane.
Yeah.
Dude. I think Glover's done either way, win or lose, because he's fighting in Brazil. Why wouldn't you want your last fight at this age with so many fights to be in front of your friends and family in Brazil? That's kind of how I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
So, if Glover says, peace out, y'all, I don't blame him. But then light heavyweight will be the biggest mess ever.
Oh, yeah.
Because here's what's going to happen. Jan and Magomed Ankalaev fought. They probably had medical suspensions. Then Teixeira's out. Jamal Hill lost. Yuri Prohaska's out. Dude, there's no fights.
Yeah.
There's no fights if Glover Teixeira gets the belt and bounces. Which, if you do, Glover, just do it, man. I'm not going to blame you. We'll all be happy for you. Trust me. But it'll just be a mess. So I don't know. It's so tough. I don't know. I think the safe bet's Magomed Ankalaev. He's so good.
Yeah. Yep. That's going with too.
All right, the heavies. This was tough because this is what it depends on. Apparently, contract negotiations are good with Ngannou with the UFC, according to a source. I forget where I saw it, but if that's the case, Ngannou Jones is probably happening in March. That's the rumor. That's what I think. John Jones is fighting in March, basically no matter what, but depends on whom. If Ngannou's contract, because Ngannou's contract is about a month away from expiring, but at the time of this recording, but man, I don't know. I think it's John Jones. I really do.
I agree.
I want Johnny, but here's what's gonna happen. Johnny Bones is gonna get the belt, defend it 2 or 3 times. I think you go for 4 just to get the record, just to be petty, because that's the type of guy John Jones is. So, yeah, dude, I think John Jones will be the champ.
Absolutely.
And then there's that. It's a motivated John Jones, which is scary. So that's the scary part, bro, because he wasn't motivated against Dominic Reyes. Clearly didn't care. I don't blame him. Same with Santos. He beat the brakes off Anthony Smith. But yeah, motivated John Jones is a scary thing. Look out, folks, because I think John Jones is coming. I think he's here to stay. But man, I wish we got Stipe Jones.
Jones doesn't come back though, and that falls out. I wouldn't be surprised if Sergey gets it somehow.
Dude, that dude is scary.
Yeah, if Sergey gets it somehow. But
I wouldn't be surprised if Sergey got it either, bro. That dude's different, man. Like, the power that guy possesses is insane.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't even know if Stipe is gonna fight again. I'm just keeping it real. All right, to the women's divisions, women's strawweight. I think Zhang Weili keeps the belt.
Yep.
I don't see her losing.
Yeah, I don't either.
All right, then we'll head to flyweight. Shevchenko's the champ right now. See, this is interesting because I wouldn't be surprised if, let's say Blanchfield dominates Tyler Santos, right? And I think Blanchfield will be the one to dethrone Shevchenko, but now is not the time. I think she'll win a couple more fights. I think Shevchenko will remain champion at the end of the year. Could she do it? Let's say they fight in August or something. Yeah, I think Blanchfield can dethrone Shevchenko then, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think a couple more fights, then she'll do it.
Yeah. I'm going to stick with Valentina by the end of next year. But I agree with you. After that, it's going to start getting interesting.
Pretty safe bet. I wouldn't be surprised if Shevchenko defends her belt twice this year and said, peace.
Yeah.
Or she'll move up to bantamweight, which we'll talk about now.
I was hearing that's a possibility.
I mean, that's what has to happen. Let's look at the division.
9-fight win streak. Like, you got to do something.
Like Nunes proved it was a fluke. Sorry, Juliana Pena, but Ketlin Vieira really hasn't proven anything to me to give her a title shot. Holly Holm is fighting Yana Kunitskaya. Raquel Pennington hasn't done much. Kianzad hasn't done much. Dude, Shevchenko is really the only one deserving of a title shot there, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
And I think she beats Nunes. I really do.
Really?
It'll be a very good, very close fight. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's going to be a walk in the park.
Yeah.
But I think Shevchenko could. But odds are, and I'll say with the odds, I think it will be Nunes remaining as champ. And by the way, we're not going to talk about it because it is not a division, pretty much. But yeah, let's fight. The fight's looking forward to. For me, I mean, Volk and Makhachev's the fight I'm looking forward to.
Absolutely. I'm counting down the days already. I'm so excited for it, man.
Yeah. And then we have Figgy Moreno for Teixeira versus Hill. And hopefully Jones versus Ngannou. That's the hope, obviously.
What's the
But
what's
man,
the first main event
huh?
of January? What's the first main event?
It's Imamov versus Gastelum.
Okay.
Um, Imamov, I think he said like Gastelum was ducking, and I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Because he pulled out of their fight. Let me double check, so I'm not wrong. But I think Kelvin pulled out of their fight back in April due to an injury. Yes, he pulled out due to an injury. Um, oh, he pulled out against Duplessis. Imamov had a withdrawal due to a visa issue. My bad, Imamov. But one of them said they was stuck. I'm like, dude, Gaslam's fought literally the best of the division for 5 years.
Yeah.
He's not ducking anybody. But I hope Gaslam get back on track in that fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, you got anything else to add to this year? It was a solid year.
It was a really solid year. I'm really thankful for the opportunity to do this with you, man. It's a ton of fun. It's a ton of fun. Love the sport. You're growing on me too. So
You're going on me too. But yeah, man. So, guys, thanks for joining us for another year of Throwin. This is a third year in review. Here's to a fourth in December of next year. If the dreams come through, who knows? That could be the last one, but you never know. So, just preparing you guys mentally, so it's not a surprise when I say I have to go. But anyway, that'll do it for this year. Thanks for tuning in. It was a good year. We'll see you guys in 2023.